Our guest is a top designer in the Nigerian fashion industry and the owner of a male fashion company he has owned for over 10 years, and he has over 10 years experience, guys, dishing out classy and elegant fashion designs. His designs are regarded as bold, unique and cutting-edge styles, propelled by the African culture yet executed with a contemporary contort. During his time in school, he found himself scrutinizing dresses and fashion sense and using his artistic nature to draw up his own version of fashion. He started taking orders from school using the tailoring machine his mother had acquired for him at a very tender age. He had styled Jidena, Joke Silva, Uti Nwachuku, Alex Ekubo, Ebuka Chendu, and a host of others. Recent collection, our real collection, has been a pride of his. He emphasized the careful planning and finesse put into all stages of production of his clothing line, from conceptualization, designs, procurement of fabrics, and finishing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have to make welcome the one and only Ugo Monye. How you doing,
Thank
bro?
you.
How you
Thank
doing?
you very much.
All right,
Very
so
well, thank you.
something came up yesterday, so I think it would be fair for me to give a brief background as to what happened, as to what the post we all woke up to yesterday. So, Ugo has threatened legal actions. I don't know whether it's still a threat over the alleged use of his company's registered design in 2021 Paramount Pictures film coming to America. In a recently shared Instagram post, the designer revealed that the popular real design owned by his design company was reproduced in the film without proper authorization. An excerpt of the notice reads, the producers, Paramount Pictures, New Republic Productions, Eddie Murphy Productions, and Misha Film Productions, through the costume designer of the movie, Ruth E. Carter, commissioned some tailors slash designers in Nigeria to design and reproduce a similar costume of, or a similar design of Ugo Monye. And yes, that's why we have him here today, to actually shed more light on that. So Ugo, welcome once again.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Right. So
Welcome.
let's talk
Welcome,
about
Ugo.
that because it's not the first of this we're seeing, but I think this is the first that is actually an international affair. We've seen Nigerian designers come against Nigerian celebrities, but this one is quite international, and we want to know why it took so long for you. Because coming to America, I think I saw that movie like 2 months or 3 months ago, right? And
Yeah.
we're just talking about it now. Is it that you didn't notice it at that time, or why are we just talking about it now?
Okay. I noticed it at the time. In fact, I noticed it on the day the movie premiered. You know,
Mm,
I wasn't watching it, but people from different parts of the world were calling me to say, "Fantastic job, man, dude, man, your work is really amazing, nice one."
wow.
I'm like, "What did I do? What did I do?" So I saw everyone was congratulating me, but I didn't know for what exactly until people started sending me
Pictures.
screenshots of the movie. So I looked at it and I now understood why people were congratulating me. And so I decided to even watch the movie myself.
Mm,
So when I saw the movie, I now knew, okay, man, okay, this is what's going on. And I didn't feel right about it because I felt, hey, for what it's worth, man, if we're doing something, we might as well do it well, you
mm.
know. So for me, that was what it was. And
All right. So
I,
when
of
you
course, I got my lawyers to get involved, and they've been handling it from there.
All right. So when you saw it, did you reach out to them and nothing was done? Because we're wondering why it's also public knowledge now. Because a lot of those things are done behind the scenes. They're like, oh, we didn't mean it this way, and then you guys just have a closed door meeting, and but it's coming to the public light now. Is there a reason for that as well? Is it that actions are not being taken the way you expected them to be?
Um, you can say that because we reached out to them, and we've been having talks they've been having talks with my legal team pretty much, and
Right.
things are not. I feel that we as Africans need to be taken more seriously. Because sometimes some things come from Africa, people just want to brush it off like, man, hey, I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Yes, it's
Africa.
true.
I mean, we got this.
Mm.
So for me, that was it. I felt things need to be taken more seriously, and that was it.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, reading about you, you've been in the industry, the fashion industry for over 10 years, right? And so that means
Yeah.
that's a long one for you. And I must say, like, I'm really like when I saw the whole story of you, like noticing that your job was used in that movie and doing something about it. I really like commend that. So when did you start this? When did you have this copyright thing on your fashion line? When did you like make
On
that
your
happen?
designs,
Your
Your
design
actually.
actually.
designs.
When did you make it happen?
So for me,
Because I'm
so,
not sorry. I'm not done because I know that
oh,
small scale businesses, especially when they're starting, we're not so informed that we can actually do this whole copyright thing, and knowing the kind of place that we're living, Nigeria, we don't really like the information about that is not really much. So when exactly did you start and how did you do it?
okay. So from me, I've in my mind, I always try to think global. So anything I'm doing, I always think about the bigger picture.
Okay.
So like I have a couple of designs that I've registered because I feel that these ones cannot go without being registered. So immediately once I design, of course you can't register all your designs because of maybe for financial reasons for now, you know. But I have a couple of designs, and once I come up with the design, I'm like, okay, you know what? Once you know that this design is really unique and this difference that is worth registering. So all I'll do is I'll call up my lawyers and say, dude, look at this. So I need to register this design because you need to own it. Because you know that you created it, you need to
Yeah.
own it.
Took your
So
sweat.
that's what I. So once I feel this design is worth registering, I just go straight ahead to my lawyers and I tell them, look, oh, this is what I have. So it
Okay.
goes through a whole process of registration. It takes even sometimes it takes over a year
Oh,
Right.
okay.
to
So
register it, even locally. Then globally, it takes way longer than that.
Okay.
So for me, once I think of once I look at the design and it's worth it, I do it.
okay. So this particular design,
Yeah.
we're aware that it was when Ebuka wore it, so it was popular. Everybody got to know about it. That was actually when I got to know about this particular design. Now, was it after Ebuka wore it that you had the copyright thingy on it, or before he wore it? Did you know that? Like, did you do that before he wore it or after he wore it? Because you mentioned that you
So I
have a
did.
couple. Did you get my question?
So, yes. So
Okay.
I trademarked it a year before. I started the process a year before that.
Oh, okay.
Like you understand what I was saying? That I started the process a year before that. In fact, I actually made that design in 2015. That's when I made it. That's when I
15.
actually that was the first time I ever made that design. It
Okay.
was also showcased at the Lagos Fashion and Design Week that same year. Or I
Wow.
mean,
Oh,
this
wow.
the year of
2015.
2017, before Ebuka actually wore it.
Okay. So I wanted to ask, so
So
what advice do you have for fashion designers, both established and upcoming? Like what advice do you have for them concerning registering their designs? Because that doesn't happen in Nigeria. Like what can you tell them concerning that?
okay, for me, I think we all need to take our craftsmanship more seriously. You know, because it's something. This is our bread and butter. It's our sweat. It's everything. We need to actually, the moment we understand it very well, that this is not, it's no longer business as usual. Because you can't sit down and you create something and you just say, you know, this. And
Yeah.
of course, so a lot of people, you hear a lot of people saying stuff like, okay, people have been copying this design, and what you ordered versus what I got, we've been seeing it up and down. So why are you now talking? Why are you talking about it? And my answer to people like that is because I can
Yeah.
choose to talk about it now, and I can choose not to talk about it.
Right.
Yeah.
It all depends on me, and you need to do stuff like that in order to be able to own your own craft.
True.
Yeah.
So because you never know tomorrow where this will go to,
That's true.
you never know how far this will go.
True.
You never know what will come out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It may
Okay.
cost some money, but I think it's worth it to just own your own.
On your
All
own
right. So
style.
my other
Thank you.
One
question is,
question.
hold up. So my other question is, can we say that it is fully intentional, right? Because in the story, they commissioned through Qatar, right, to some Nigerian designers to create that design. Do you think it was intentional on their part, or should we be blaming now the Nigerian designers that were commissioned, that have seen your work and copied it?
Honestly speaking, I don't even want to get involved with that. I'm letting my legal team handle anything that is regarding that, you know. So, and I know I don't want to get involved in that. My own is that let's just let's know what we're doing and let's move forward.
Alrighty,
You
All
know,
right.
alrighty.
yeah.
That was actually the question I wanted to ask. I mean, because he mentioned that having the copyright thing actually is good because you don't know how far your work can go. And I was going to ask you, within Nigeria, we know that we copy ourselves a lot here. Like I can see something someone is wearing, and I'll just go with my tailor and have that same exact thing, and then it just relates to the question that he just asked you now.
All right, so
All
now
right.
that he's in the public space, has
Okay.
there been any positive
Can I
feedback?
answer? Can I?
Okay,
Because she
yes,
said
please, go
something
ahead.
now
Oh
that
yeah,
was very interesting.
I was talking about how here within the country we know that someone can actually have exactly what that particular design, yeah, someone can have it done exactly that way. So if you have a copyright on that, are you still going to call that person out? Because it's like a norm here for us. We do it a lot of time. I copied this.
Yes. See, everything depends on whoever owns the rights to the design. If he feels like he wants to call the person out, if he feels like he wants to take legal actions, that's the person's problem. You know,
Okay.
everything depends on the person. But you know, the honest truth is, for you to have your design registered, it has gone through a process. So now we know that this is truly a unique design. Because you taking someone's picture from a magazine and telling your tailor doesn't mean it's being copied. It's just like saying, yeah, you see guys every day making different types of agbadas. The embroideries are different. So now you sometimes you see people come to me and say, I want this design, but you know that this design is a generic design. Everybody does it. Of course, I mean it's not owned by anybody.
Okay.
Well,
true.
you think it's not owned by anybody.
Right.
Do you understand what
Okay.
I'm saying?
Yes, we do.
No, no, no,
Because
no. No, I don't
but
understand the part.
but unique pieces are unique pieces. It's clear. Even you can't go to copyright or patent a design of a regular agbada because the embroidery is different. No, I don't think they'll honor it.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Okay.
They
All
won't
right.
be honest.
So, to conclude this conversation, now that this has been made, a public, affair, has there been any positive feedback? Has your legal team heard back from, producers of Coming to America, the Murphy Company, and the rest?
Well, as I said, for now, let's just keep it between my legal team and the people. You get what I'm saying?
All
Yeah.
right. All right, all right. Thank you very much, Ugo Monye, for joining us
Thank
this morning
you
and
so
shedding
much.
some
Thank you.
light on this, ongoing issue. And yes, thank you
Thank you
once
very
again.
much.
Thank
Right,
you.
right.
Thank you very
Enjoy the
much.
rest of your day.
Bye.
All right, that's
Okay.
amazing. I think
Yeah.
a lot of light has been
Has been
shed
shed
on
on
that.
it.
That was
Yeah.
really like smart of him to have copyrighted that
That design, yeah.
design 2015. Imagine if he had no copyright on it.
That will be the end of the
It's
story.
gone. He
I
could just
mean,
say, "Oh, that's what it is." Oh, so was it. The same thing he said about Nigerians copying, other
Each
people,
other,
and they're like, nobody owns this. So that's how it would have looked like if he hadn't, copyrighted that particular design. So
Right.
that's a good one.